So this is huge for the Fever. Like, this is absolutely huge, if you guys don't know. Like, this is one of the biggest things that could have possibly happened to the Indiana Fever. And this is the hiring of their new president. The Indiana Fever, for their new president, hired Kelly Krauskopf. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I will figure it out at some stage, because something like, she's going to be very relevant to the old Indiana Fever. She was the first female assistant GM in the NBA. And not only that, if you don't know, she was the Indiana Fever's GM and president for all of her success. 8 straight playoffs, 13 in total. She was the president that drafted Tamika Catchings, that had all of that team, that built the 2012 championship team. And then, hilariously, this is how bad the WNBA was. It was considered a promotion to go from the Fever to the Pacers esports team. Went to the Pacers 2K team. She went to work for the 2K League, and that was seen as a promotion on the WNBA. She then got hired by the Indiana Pacers, which is massive. So obviously you can see it right here. Kelly Krauskopf is returning to the Fever's president of basketball operations. It was announced this morning. She was with the franchise 2004 to 2018 before she joined the Pacers. I know, there was in the middle of that she joined the 2K League. Kelly Krauskopf, who shaped the Indiana Fever into one of the WNBA's winningest franchises, president and GM, will return to the team as the president of basketball and business operations when the 2024 season concludes. The Fever Menace today, she led the franchise from 2000 until 2018. She left to become the Pacers assistant general manager. They're now mentioned at 2K League as a 2K person. The WNBA and Fever have always been part of me. It truly is a privilege to be asked to return to lead this team to an unprecedented time of growth in women's basketball. I'd like to thank Kevin Pritchard for asking me to join his management staff 6 years ago. There's no doubt that experience will serve me well as I enter the next chapter. So the Fever are going to be run like a real organization. So our Dunn and sides days numbered. I doubt she's going to fire Lynn Dunn. I really doubt that. If you don't know, Lynn Dunn was the coach. Lynn Dunn was the coach, and if you look at some of the stuff with Lynn Dunn, she traded basically their whole team to get 4 picks in the first round of the 2022 draft. Like, it's comical some of the stuff Lynn Dunn has done for the for the Fever. But yeah, that's a very, very interesting hiring right there. But it is going to be important, because you're going to be seeing the Fever being ran a little bit better. It's like, look, you don't get that job. You don't get a job with the Pacers unless you're at least competent. Like, you obviously don't. Maybe if you wouldn't be the best, you might have gotten promoted to GM. But like, at the end of the day, getting an NBA GM job is crazy. Heck, even being an assistant GM is impressive. I wonder what this means for Lynn Dunn. Hopefully retire. She's getting ready to go back into retirement. I think she might be. I think she really might be. I think she was there she was going to be there for a short term, and maybe she could be done. No pun intended. I do hope Lynn is done at the end of this season. It's a great rehire. This is good for Fever fans. Was she any good? They made the playoffs 12 years. I think it was 8 years in a row, which is a WNBA record. Also, her experience with the Pacers could be beneficial in building around Caitlin, since the Pacers have a point guard in Taurasi who likes to play fast as well. That's actually something that I didn't realize. Like, the Pacers are building around Tyrese Halliburton, so she definitely has like some form of like. They've got something. They've got some form of scouting. They got some form of algorithm that is out there trying to find, whether it be college players, whether it be guys overseas, whether it be guys in the league, to try to find the perfect players to fit in with Tyrese Halliburton. But you've got that now. So you've got those type of players. They exist. They exist in the WNBA. And if you're getting hired, coming in as a president of basketball operations, you want to hire a GM that obviously is similar enough, or the same philosophy to you. And if you've got Caitlin Clark, that philosophy is built around her, obviously. But for me, what I'm doing is I'm looking to the continent. I'm looking to Europe. Like, we saw that there are more players. Like, we saw even the young players come up. We saw what Leila Khan did in the Olympics. Like, she is like an athletic, rangy guard. And we've seen so many other players that are just, they have that athleticism. Like, I would really, really look to sign Tijan Salone's sister, Janelle Salone. Like, she is, I know she plays in France, which makes things which can make things very awkward. And I also love how when you type in her name on Google, a picture of Gabby Williams comes up. In fairness, they do kind of look alike. But, not kind of, they really look alike. But, she would be a really good addition. She's like a 3 through 5 that can play as a mobile 5, can probably play at the 3. Not the greatest shooter in the world, but she's got that athleticism profile. She's got that athletic profile that will fit with the Indiana Fever need. Like, someone along those lines. Like, they exist in Europe. They exist in college. And I would really like to see... I wouldn't mind seeing people start, especially when it comes to women's basketball, where it's like, oh, if you're in South Carolina, you're automatically get drafted, or if you're in UConn, you're pretty much automatically get drafted if you're any good in the first round. I would love to see, like, maybe if it's not a first round pick, using some second round picks, maybe third round picks, go into the small colleges and trying to find players. Like, for example, I know she's obviously not doing great in the WNBA, but she was a top 5 pick. Lou Lopez Seneschal. Lou was balling when she was in Ireland. She was balling in Ireland. She was balling in Fairfield. And she was on no radars whatsoever. She transfers to UConn, was on no radars. Paige gets injured and she's a top 5 pick. It's like those players like that exist at a lot of small colleges. And I really do hope to see the Fever start to do what the NBA are doing, where it's they look at the player, not where they play. Like, you saw it in a lot of drafts where it's like, okay, yeah, this guy is playing at X, Y, and Z college, but it's like, no, they are legit. Like Ja Morant, whatever. He was in Murray State. It's like, oh no. Doesn't matter that he's in Murray State. In women's basketball, if someone was at the equivalent of what Murray State was doing, that player wouldn't have even been freaking drafted because they didn't go to a UConn, they didn't go to South Carolina, or they didn't happen to go to like freaking Iowa or an Ohio State or any of these big colleges. But yeah, that's a great hire, a really, really good hire for the Indiana Fever. And touch wood, Chrissy Sides is going to be gone, because I did like a breakdown of the game and Chrissy Sides was like all over the place. Her tactics were I watched back most of the game. Her tactics were all over the place. Even though the Fever played badly yesterday, she didn't help them in any way. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.